Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to talk more about logarithms, particularly common logarithms and natural logarithms, and also the change of base formula, which relates to common and natural logarithms. So let's just first start off by talking about what is a common logarithm. So a common logarithm is the log that you see that has no base written with it. So this is your common logarithm. It has no base written with it, but there's an understood base there, and that understood base is a base of 10. So if we talk about a common log, then we're talking about base 10. So when you see log x, that means log base 10. That is your common logarithm. Now, there's another logarithm that we use frequently, and it's called the natural logarithm, and it's written ln of x. That stands for natural log. Don't ask me why it's ln and not nl, okay? But it stands for natural log. And it's the natural log of x, but that is the same as saying base e. So whenever you see ln of x, that is natural log, which means base e. Now remember or recall when we talked about exponential functions, we defined e to be Euler's number, which is approximately 2.71828 and some more numbers. It's an irrational number. So it keeps going with no pattern. It's not a repeating decimal, but that is the value of e. And so this is natural log is log base e of x, and it is the inverse function of the exponential function e to the x. Alrighty. So why are these logs important? These are really important logs because they're used a lot, but we also have buttons for these on our calculator. So whether you're using a TI-83 like me, or you're using your phone calculator, your iPhone, Samsung calculator, there is a button on your calculator for these. So on my TI-83 calculator, this is an 83, it'll be the same on an 84. There is this LOG button. Can y'all see it? That is the common log button, log base 10, and then there's this LN button, which is the natural log button, log base e, okay? So that is on my calculator. Now let me show y'all on my phone. I have an iPhone. So if you go to your calculator on your iPhone, if you hold it this way, it just has the basic commands, right? Your basic operations and numbers. But if you flip it this way, it gives you some additional things. And on here, if you look, it has log base 10 right here. That is your common log button. And then it has the LN button right here, which is your natural log button, okay? So we have these, we have the common log and the natural log buttons on our calculators. So for our very first example, what we want to do is find the log of 1000. So because we have a log button on our calculator, we could just plug that in, but let's just talk about what that means. So remember that if there is no base here, there's an understood base of 10. And so remember, if you use the definition of log, that means 10 to some power equals 1000. Well, 10 to what power equals 1000? So you can actually think about that, or again, you can just plug in your calculator. I just want to make sure you know what it meant. So here's my log, and then I'm going to put in 1 and 3 zeros. So, oh, my calculator not even on. So here is my log button, and I'm going to put in 1 and 3 zeros, and I'm going to close the parenthesis. Wrong way. Trying to do it backwards. And hit enter. And it gives you the value of 3. My screen is 30. So this would be equal to 3. So what is the log of 1000 is equal to 3. You just have to understand that that's a base of 10, okay? Okay, for this example, we want to find the natural log of 142. So remember, that means base e. That means e to what power gives me 142? That's the question. That's exactly what that means. However, since there's a natural log button on your calculator, you can use your calculator to just plug this in. So on my TI-83, I would just do natural log button, and then 142, 142, and then close the parentheses, you can see, and then hit enter. And you get approximately 4.9558. So approximately 4.95583, depending on how far it tells you to round to, you could do it that way. Or if you were to do it on your cell phone, the only thing you have to do different is you have to actually enter the number first. So if I turn my phone sideways again, I will actually enter the 142 first, 142, and then hit the natural log button. And it'll give you that same number, 4.955827. So the only thing different about your phone is that you have to enter the number in first and then hit the log button. And so that's pretty simple. So I showed you that those calculators have a log button, which is base 10, and a natural log button, which is base E. However, not all calculators have bases besides those two bases. There is some, like the TI-84 Plus, that will allow you to enter a log with a different base. But if you have a calculator that won't allow you to enter a log with a base other than base E or base 10, then you have to use what's called the change of base formula. And I have the change of base formula here. It says if you have log base A of X, you can change it to any base you want, which is your new base of B, by writing it as log base B, your new base of X of the argument, over log base B of A, your new base of your old base A. So usually if your calculator only has base 10 or base E, common log or natural log, then you'll want to change any other base to be in a format to where it has base 10 or base E. So for example, on example 3, we want to find log base 5 of 17. So this doesn't have your base 10 or your base E. So on the calculators that I have, I can't plug this in the calculator to figure out what that is. So I would have to change that to a base that I know. So like base 10. If I wanted to change this to base 10, remember with base 10, we don't write a base. So we'll just say log of X. That means the number that's furthest out, 17, all over log base 10, which I don't write a base, of A, which was my old base 5. So I can calculate that. Now I can use my calculator. Now I can actually use my calculator and calculate that by doing log 17, close the parenthesis, log 17 divided by log 5, and close the parenthesis. So it looks like this. And I'll hit enter. And I get approximately 1.7603. So this is approximately 1.7603, and some more numbers. If I round that, that's 4.7604. So that's how I would calculate a log of a different base. I would use the change of base formula. So this is more about logs, common log, natural log, change of base formula. If you have any questions whatsoever about any of this, feel free to put them in the comments below. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If not, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.